We speak of self-love, self-esteem, self-trust. And from a perspective, someone who lacks self-esteem will want to gain it. And from another perspective, someone who has self-esteem has to get rid of it. Because self-esteem is a cause of suffering. And I will teach you this weekend. The more you try to have esteem and value, the more it can be hurt because of pride and the importance you give yourself. If you destroy the idea of value, you will never be worthless again. And you will never be worthful again. You'll be free from the idea of comparison to others' values. Because self-esteem is a reference of you towards everyone else. Am I a good person? The statement, I'm a good person, or the question, am I a good person, is always contextual to others, compared to others' goodness and evilness. Am I good? But compared to what? And in which society? Not so long ago, people that ran in the streets with axes to chop people's head were heroes. Today they're serial killers. Okay? But they were the same people. In one set, we praise a certain behavior. In one culture, we praise self-esteem and pride. In another culture, those who have self-esteem and pride, they're considered to be pompous assholes. Okay? You're arrogant. Don't do that, you know? So, these ideas in typical psychology that we gain, self-worth, self-esteem, self-love, okay, is something that you need to work on when you are deprived of that and have no other means to be happy. Okay? There is love. We experience it. But did you ever successfully force self-love on yourself? It's something that you allow yourself to fall in, to sink in. It's not something, some technique. I breathe, I do this, and that mantra, and that mudra, and self-love. Self-love. I have to repeat it, self-love. No, it won't work. Okay? The way to feel good inside is to keep your energy high and moving. Okay? To keep your energies high and moving, you have to do a certain amount of things. Okay? Okay, before I go into the pool of consciousness, we need to speak, what is consciousness? Alright. If I give you a definition of consciousness, you won't have a single idea what it is. We have to teach through experience. Close your eyes, please. Contemplate your breath. Pay attention to your relaxed breath. You are breathing in and out slowly at your rhythm. Did you notice that you are aware? When I said, be aware of your breath, pay attention of your breath. Notice that you are aware. Now pay attention to the fact that you're aware. It's wonderful. We spend most of our life not conscious that we're conscious. Not paying attention to our ability to pay attention. Not aware that we are aware. We need to spend a bit of time to contemplate, I am aware. That's consciousness. Come back here and breathe. I could not have described it in any way through dictionaries and words without telling you, please do that. And notice there's something such as awareness. That's consciousness. Now when you speak of consciousness, it's not some mystical substance flowing in the universe that I don't really know what it is. It's the fact that I'm aware. When we speak of universal consciousness, it's not some kind of life force going everywhere. No, it's consciousness. The universe is capable of paying attention to itself. That's universal consciousness. Okay? It's the awareness that is in everything. So, consider your awareness as humans. And you say that a squirrel is not conscious? It's not aware? Well, maybe not to the level of refinement of a human being, because we have a very complex nervous system, allowing our soul to tap in a lot of this conscious state through the body, through the senses, through the emotional plane, the mental plane, through our human existence. The soul is able to be conscious through a very refined experience. But a squirrel is conscious at the level of a squirrel, don't you agree? So would a larva be conscious at the level of a larva? Of course, if we follow the same reflection. It means, naturally, a single cell is conscious at the level that a single cell is capable. So maybe it will not have the time to read a book on Socrates' experience of mathematics if it's a monocellular thing that wiggles in water or your blood. I don't know. But that means that each one of your cells have self-awareness, not intellectually refined like your entire system. As a human, I am very refined. I can do business management. I can drive my car. I can understand causes and effect at a very wide scale and in a very refined manner. That's the intellect. That's our mind. But there is mind not in the form of an intellect. There is mind in a cell. But it's not thinking 2 + 2 = 4. A blood cell is not thinking, it's experiencing. At its level of consciousness, oxygen comes out, CO2 comes out, and goes like this. Okay, we understand? But there's consciousness in there. Consciousness at the level of a cell, and then at the level of a multicellular system, then at the level of an organ, then at the level of a complete being. Okay? So this consciousness is everywhere, in everything. Because if a monocellular cell is conscious, an atom is conscious. It won't do maths. It won't manage a budget. But there's consciousness and mind in an atom at the level that an atom bears. Because it's part of nature. And that is universal consciousness. It's the fact that there is self-awareness. And in everything not organized as a complete organism, with senses to perceive the outside from the inside, there's no sentient experience, sensible or sensitive experience. But we have, as humans, have the ability to perceive what is outside, what is inside, and even what is inside, what goes on, and feel it. Oh, I feel this, I have this pain, I have this pleasure, I have this, I have that. Okay? We are equipped with the ability to interact at a very complex and refined level as conscious beings. But consciousness is in everything, everywhere. Okay? Does it make sense? Yes. Inside us, there's a point, a place, where we are connected to the consciousness in the universe. What is the difference between my consciousness here and the consciousness in the universe? In its nature, there's no difference. It's consciousness. But we, as egocentric beings, will say there is a consciousness that is me, and a consciousness that is everything else. We speak of universal consciousness, but you're that. Okay? We're not separated. But because we isolated ourselves in an individual, my name is this, I prefer that, I live on this place, my political party is that, he shouldn't have done this, I should have done that, I feel guilty, I'm in love. Because we have defined ourselves, because it's a part of nature, it's okay, it's a wonderful thing to have an ego and be defined. Okay? Your ego is your best friend. Whoever taught you your ego was the source of evil is afraid of the truth. Okay? So everyone inside has a place in consciousness where we are united with this consciousness. Okay? For fun, I just wrote a little Om in there for fun. Okay? And this is inside us, somewhere. Oh, is it in my heart chakra? No. Okay? It's not localized at a specific geographic location. Okay? It doesn't have a coordinate. It's undefined, formless. But it is a point from which the source flows in. And the source flows into our pool of consciousness. Okay? We have a pool of consciousness. This is the consciousness that we egocentrically defined as our consciousness. Which is okay, because we have an ego. Alright? And this consciousness flows in. But this consciousness flows in. You start to dream, oh, it's like a flow of water, and then you think consciousness is a substance. No. Consciousness is the fact that you're aware. So how can it flow if it's not substance? Well, the flowing part is a metaphor. Alright? You like this? Allow yourself to transcend, Brian. Just take off. Okay? That's good. So, if the water is not stirring, if the consciousness is not moving, okay, because you have different layers, okay, that I don't want to explain everything tonight, but you have different layers, and it radiates in waves into your pool. And here, at the bottom of your pool of consciousness are senses. 5 inputs, outputs, your senses. Okay. Your consciousness, which is what you receive from the universe, will naturally flow where you put your attention. Why? Because consciousness and your attention is the same thing. Okay? We went through this experience. Okay? Breathe. Close your eyes and pay attention inside. And while you pay attention inside, notice that there is a difference of state of being when you pay attention inside compared to when you're just looking outside. Now open your eyes. Now you see, now you hear, your touch feeling on your skin, feel the chair. Your attention is on what your senses provide to you. You understand this? So your attention is not inside you. It's outside you. You agree? So where does your consciousness flow? Outside of you. It flows here. And it flows down, making little waves, and goes out of you. So if you put 99.9% of the time in your life outside, watching TV, speaking to people, listening to stuff, talking, doing your job, it's essential to do your job. But if all that you do is pay attention outside, because your senses are telling you reality is outside and inside is just stuff that I don't know about. They told me I had a heart and liver and stomach, but I don't really know it until it hurts. Okay? So, What happens with a pool that is not refreshed? It becomes filled with swamp-like creatures and plants and stuff. And your pool of consciousness, what consciousness you have in you, doesn't necessarily go away. It becomes stagnant and putrefies. It becomes putrid. Okay? What happens to those who do meditation constantly? Go in a cave, hide in a cave, and constantly meditate, just inside. Their pool becomes very filled because there's almost none that goes out through the senses. And the pool is filled, it is still stagnant, but there's much more. And it kind of swirls, and because of the gaze, consciousness dissolves density, okay, in time. It brings it back to the state of consciousness. So, because they pay attention to themselves, the stagnant water is not putrid, it's just very stable. And then this idea of a pool just disappears and goes away. The monk dies, he's united to Supreme Consciousness. But he's not here in real life where people work and move and do stuff like that. We're here. We have lives. What are we going to do? Become monks or go to hell? I mean, what's the threshold of possibilities in there? How can I get my consciousness pool clean and pure and moving and refreshed? You need to allow water to flow. Okay? So that new water will come and fill it in. But while it's in there, it has to move. Okay? How do you move your different levels of consciousness? Physical exercise, good food, emotional health that we attain through integration, those who know about integration, mental effort, concentration. You put effort with your different levels of existence at the level of mental exercise, emotional exercise, vital exercise, and physical exercise. You keep your energy moving, it will swirl, it will move, and because of the movements, like water, it will oxygenate, it will be mixed with consciousness, new consciousness that will be refined, and part of it will flow out, so you will have a balanced life. But you still need to get your pool to move from within. You can't empty yourself. If you do all of these physical exercises and integration and lots of thinking, but you're always out there, you will still have just a stream flowing very intensely. Okay? You need to be inside. You need to go dwell inside and feel something so that your inside will move in consciousness. You understand that? So we will do an exercise. What we want to do is get the pool moving as a swirl, okay? So that it will keep generating a momentum, but there's always new consciousness pouring in here, and always a bit going out through the senses, and we're still in and out there, okay? How do we nourish inside? How do we get this consciousness? We sit, we pay attention inside, okay? Keep your eyes open. Look at me, look at the drawing, look at the floor, look at the things around you. Pay attention inside. Look at everything, stay aware here. Breathe. Be conscious of your breath as your eyes show you other stuff. Stay conscious of your breath. You can be aware inside while you are aware outside, both at the same time, okay? The Buddhists call this mindfulness. What goes on inside? what goes on outside eventually is not two things. I'm paying attention here and I'm paying attention to my life at the same time. Wow, two things at once. You're not a multi-processor, two dual core. You're just thinking in terms of separation. It's normal. At first you need to put an effort. I'm staying focused inside and I'm staying focused outside. Eventually you'll get the point of mindfulness. You'll just be aware. And whatever goes on inside and outside will not be separated. It will not be two efforts to concentrate. It will be one effort. I'm just conscious. Through what I feel and through what the senses tell me. The information I gather from what appears to be reality. Right? Breathe. So that got your energy flowing. Okay? That chart is how this energy comes. Why? Because you're conscious inside, so consciousness goes inside. And you're conscious outside, so it goes outside. And it is renewed. Okay? In this state of self-awareness, do a bit of sport, eat well, breathe. When you take a walk, stay conscious. Don't just walk in a hurry to arrive to your destination. Walk consciously. I am walking. And that's it. Just doing that. And you stay aware inside. That's the physical part. That's easy. The vital part will follow. Okay? When you move, that's mostly vital level energy. What the food you eat mostly affects your body. Okay? And you need to keep the physical and the vital body always interacting. Okay? But what about the emotional body? I'm going to go throw my life in some kind of weird drama to stimulate emotions? That's crazy. You got enough drama. The goal is not about producing drama, it's about being free from it. Please, close your eyes and breathe. Remember when I said every one of your cells had an experience of self-awareness of itself. So you will visualize each one of your cells is a happy face, and it smiles. Imagine every cell of your body is a happy face smiling. It's golden, yellow, and it's smiling. And blood cells are happy faces going throughout your body, and your brain is filled with happiness. Happy cells sending happiness to all other cells through your nerves. You are made with happy faces, your bones, your muscles, your organs. And you breathe. And you're conscious of the breath and conscious of the state of happiness. And whatever rises, you allow it. If it's happiness, you allow it. If you're sad, you allow it. But you just allow yourself, while you focus on happiness, you allow your emotional body to get moving. Now breathe and come back here. Stay aware of yourself. It's supposed to be fun. So did you have a good reason to be happy? No. You had no one offered you $1 million. No one triggered you. Nothing happened except your will to be happy. You put your mind on it. You're happy. Now I just screwed you. I just pranked you. I proved to you that the state in which you feel, it's because you focused on it. Okay? So it's normal that we have suffering happening in our life. But why does it take so long to go away? Because we want it to stay. It is entertaining to suffer. Is it not? So, most of your causes of suffering are authentic. Okay, you're not lying and playing games. I'm not saying what you feel isn't right and isn't real. It is real. The reason it stays so long, that's your illusion. That's your dream. Okay? Because you're focusing on it. When a suffering comes, you have to sink in it. So that you'll go that way. And when your suffering is integrated, go back in a state of joy. So it'll go that way. Alright? I could draw the yin-yang there, but it would screw up the existing drawing. So you get it. Okay? Allow nature to work you and consider each lesson of suffering. Looking at it. Allowing to exist and look what caused it. And what caused it usually is, I'm so sad she left. But it's not because she left that you're sad. It's because you were attached that you're sad. The pain did not come from the thing you love that broke. It comes from the fact that you were attached to that thing that broke. It's not by the fact that someone called you an asshole that you are affected by someone calling you an asshole. It's because you don't believe him while he's telling you exactly the truth. I'm so happy I'm an asshole, amongst other things. Amongst other things. What, we're all one, but not that. We love to speak of oneness, completely ignoring the experience of oneness, okay? New Age 50 cents bullcrap, okay? That is oneness. When it comes, you'll know, okay? Until then, take care of what really matters right now. Do you want enlightenment? And everyone said, yes, yes. Well, you don't know what enlightenment is. Why do you care? What you really want is to stop suffering. Let's call it that, okay? When someone asked the Buddha, what is enlightenment? He said, it is not suffering. That's it. He didn't declare what enlightenment was. At a later time, he described other things, okay? This thing about letting go. I speak of non-attachment. And during this weekend, you are going so much to misinterpret my words. Such as, if you suffer lack of self-love, is because you are attached to other people loving you. That's your cause of suffering out of self-love. And then your mind goes, did he just say we can't have people in love with us? No, I did not say that. I said it might actually be a wonderful thing to feel love with someone else, but your addiction to that is a cause of suffering. It might be wonderful to have a wonderful TV, but your addiction to your TV is your cause of suffering because your TV is going to go away. It's going to break, you're going to die, you won't be able to watch your TV as a ghost. Tons of stuff can happen, okay? I'm joking, but it's cool. In any case, we used the simplicity of awareness to stimulate the movement of the emotional body so that your pool of consciousness would say healthy. Work your way into happiness. Life will find its way to bring you back in balance in suffering. The proof is, it does. Do I have to argue with you to prove you that life will eventually find a way to bring you back in a state of suffering? It will happen. Oh, you want the matrix, the red pill, you're out? Just like that? You can read a lot of New Age stuff, which is very good, by the way. But there comes a point it tells you, you can stop suffering if you have the good mindset. And you hear mindset, you think intellectual mechanics. No. The proper mindset is a state of being. It's not an understanding through intellectual means. It's an experience. It is the experience like those I used to teach you. I'm not trying to prove to you what I teach. I'm telling you, close your eyes, imagine this, do that. You see for yourself? You see for yourself. Through experience. Experience is the real teacher. Okay? You can't teach someone something if he doesn't have the experience to assimilate the words that you use to refer to that experience. Okay? Try to explain to a young child the importance of staying in balance on a bike. He will go and hurt himself. When he tries again, you can explain to him the importance to throw himself out of the bike, and he won't. His body will say, no way, I'm not falling. His body, his system is going to try to do its best to stay in balance because it suffered. Okay, because it has an experience to say, no, not that one. Let's try something else. Let's do it. But before it's got the experience of falling, the body, the nervous system doesn't care about this. What balance, whatever. Just put me on the bike. It's red. I love it. Ah, that hurts. Yeah, try again, and then you become good at riding a bike. So, physical health, vital health, emotional health, and mental health. Okay, that keeps your pool of consciousness moving. Okay, and you pay attention outside while you also pay attention inside, and you'll see that it's very difficult. Because I've been speaking, and I know from the last minute, none of you are mindful right now. You were listening to my words, and you lost the inner, I'm listening to his word, but I'm still focused in here. Okay. Well, 2 of you got it, but still. You see, it takes practice. It just takes practice to work and do your things. And then people ask me, how can you be in transcendental meditation and drive your car? Well, I didn't do this the first 15 years, okay? I meditated sometime, somewhere in a safe place, not on the passing lane on the highway, and I transcended. And then I went to drive my car, or went out, or did whatever I did. And eventually I was acquainted. It became a habit of staying conscious inside as I was outside, because I practiced. Okay, that's the key, practice. Okay, now when you go drive your car tonight, don't practice. Start practicing when you're walking in a safe environment. Okay, start practicing when you're not threatened, when you're not operating heavy machinery. Okay, then it becomes natural, and you will not be able to stop awareness while you drive your car. That's when you're ready. If naturally while you drive your car you stop being aware of yourself, it means you're not ready to put this kind of awareness into something so dangerous that if you pay attention inside, you'll lack resources to stay connected outside, and you'll just snap out, and eventually you might crash and die because you wanted to be mindful. But in the times of the Buddha, where he taught mindfulness, you could walk on this trail and fall down and say, oh, I transcended. It wasn't dramatic, but do this in a car, it's dramatic. Okay? Don't do that. All right? A new culture, new issues. That's how it works. So
is it easier to transcend at 60 miles an hour?
Doesn't really matter. But thanks for asking. And then some people ask me, how you do your city meditation while in your car? I got naturally to a point where I did not snap out of meditation. When I came back, I just reactivate my body. So that's when you're ready. When you practice so much that it becomes a natural state. Then you're just mindful always. Just practice when it's not dangerous. Okay? Practice a lot. Okay? This weekend, we will be learning mantras. A whole shitload of mantras for those who like to use mantras. Okay? Because mantras help. Some of these mantras you can charge with a mala. Okay? A Buddhist prayer necklace. Okay? But you can just say them like this. Okay? There's the siddhi version where you just contemplate it. And there's the mala version where you just pop your beads and you want to charge it and do as much as you can in 12 days. Okay? This, to get this state of universal consciousness while I'm aware here and there, we will do this mantra. Too easy. Okay? Om. You don't have to do it if you're not in the Buddhist or Hindu way. If you say, well, no, Om for me is not a teaching of Christ. Well, don't do it. Okay? Well, just think Father. Okay? Father. The source of all things. Okay? For the more Oriental people, the New Agers and the true spiritualists, and by the way, true spiritualists exist in Christianity. Okay? There are saints in Christianity. You just don't know them. O is everything. M is energy. So Om means all energy. And this energy is not current flowing through wires. No, it's consciousness. Okay? That flows. Okay? So we breathe in. Om. And you observe inside. Breathe naturally. And observe. You can pay attention outside a bit, but now it's an inside practice. You go inside. If you want to stay aware, outside is okay. Inside is more important. Again, breathe. Oh. And there's something going on inside. An excitement, an activation. Because you're paying attention. And this moves you. Again, breathe. Oh. And you let yourself fall in this state of self-awareness. So I have to adapt to different crowds, and I'm teaching the way you do the mantras and the way you just don't and contemplate all things. Okay? Now you will go to the smiles. Stay self-aware. Okay, watch this. Sukhi is a Sanskrit word that means happy. Ananda means bliss. Ram means pleasure. Happy, blissful pleasure. That's the mantra to contemplate. And we say Sukhi Ananda Ram. Okay? So you breathe. See happy faces, aware inside mostly. If you can do it outside, it's okay, but inside mostly. Self-awareness, Sukhi-ananda Ram. And you will feel this encouraging happiness. Come, Sukhi-ananda Ram. Sukhi-ananda Ram. Sukhi-ananda Ram. And you do it inside. You can do it aloud if you want, but get to the point where you just contemplate Sukhi-ananda Ram. Whispering or inside. Sukhi-ananda-ram, and happy faces. And you keep this while aware outside and aware inside. And you will walk Sukhi-ananda-ram, doing an internal practice while you're physically walking. Okay? So that is the first key of the Taoist immortality process that consists in whatever you do, you're consciously acknowledging that there is happiness, bliss, and a pleasant experience. And tons of stuff in you will say you the contrary. Tons of stuff will tell you, ouch, I just hit my hand on a door that almost got it. Oh, my little toe. Oh, my car won't start. If you want to keep suffering, you can pay attention to those. You still have to be responsible of those things. You need to care about your places that you hurt yourself. You need to care about your car that is going to go out of fuel. You need to care about those things. Stay Sukhi-ananda-ram. Stay happy. Okay? You just move it. And you breathe. And you walk So I'm giving you a little practice period right now. We're gonna have a 10-minute break. It's time to go to the bathroom. Stay in that state. Please don't fall out of the state. Do an effort, all right? See you in a few minutes.